And we welcome you to Charlottesville. 4-game card tonight in the Atlantic Coast Conference. We've got number 21 Virginia and the Pitt Panthers here at John Paul Jones Arena, where Virginia has been really good. And great to be courtside. The tall Virginian that gets a home game tonight. Dan Botter, West Durham. Great to have the only meeting of the regular season between the Cavaliers and Panthers, and two teams going north, it feels like, here in the final month.
Two teams played very well. Virginia, not only have they won 23 straight here, they've won 8 straight overall. Pitt won 5 of the last 6, so both teams have some momentum. But Wes, I'll tell you, the way you keep your momentum is you make shots. And each of these teams has a tremendous shot maker. Isaac McNeely has 3 games this year where he's made at least 6 threes. Obviously, that shooting percentage leading the country. And in Blake Hinson, this is a guy who will take a 3 anytime, any place. He takes tough threes. He takes easy threes. He takes 9 3-point shots per game. He makes 4 of them. He is an outstanding shooter. And once he gets hot, look out.
Yeah, first couple go down for number 2 in the Royal Blue tonight. It can be a dangerous night. Pittsburgh's got 4 road wins in the ACC, Dan, including Cameron. The Panthers are a different team on the road, and Virginia's different at home.
Well, and Wes, both of these teams have done the same thing. They started a little slowly, but they've really put things together. They have their rotations the way they want. They've got the lineups that they're looking for, and so I expect this to be an outstanding game.
Panthers win the tap. They'll control the ball. The freshman Lowe works with Henson. There's Austin, of course, the transfer from High Point. Carrington and Federico fill out the card for Jeff Capel. Here's Lowe skipping across for Henson. 3-ball away to start the game. Front rim miss. And Beekman, who fills just about every stat column for Tony Bennett. He's the headliner with Rhodey, McNeely, Dunn, and Jordan Minor, who, if there's a turnkey to Virginia's season, the insertion of Minor into the starting lineup in a unique way perhaps brought Virginia together collectively. Here's Beekman feeding Minor, and the Cavaliers on the board first.
And of course, very few people do that as well as Reese Beekman, driving the ball into the lane and finding an open player. Nice catch, nice pass.
You see the backcourt of Carrington and Lowe, Henson, Austin, Federico, and then I'll tell you about Ishmael Leggett, who comes off the bench for Jeff Capel. And again, here is Beekman and Henson. Blake will take him foul line, fall away, spins in.
Now, Wes, he missed a wide open 3, and that was a tough contested shot against a very good defensive player. Now, admittedly, he has a couple of inches on him, but that's what Henson does. He can make really tough shots.
McNeely against the freshman from Missouri City, Texas, Jalen Lowe. And now Beekman against Carrington. It's quite a test for Lowe and Carrington. There's Rhodey. It was an air ball, and then Lowe couldn't control the loose ball. It will go to Virginia. Dan, Jeff Capel mentioned specifically today, Austin, Lowe, Carrington. They've never played Virginia. They've never been in this building. He was concerned about that from an atmosphere standpoint and how they would handle it.
But Virginia's a different animal. You can practice against what Virginia does, but you can't really simulate it. And you can say, guard that guy because he's going to shoot threes.
A rare trip inside the three-point line for McNeely.
And he has really improved inside the three-point line during this Virginia winning streak.
Henson against Dunn, backing them down all the way to the block. He leverages and scores on the up and under. Crafty move by Blake Henson.
But you see, that was totally one-on-one, and he used his physical strength against Dunn. And I'm telling you, when Henson gets it down there, he's shooting it. He is not passing it. In 12 ACC games, he only has 5 assists.
Here is Beekman. Inside Minor over the top of Federico. Carrington clears it for the Panthers. Virginia wants to keep Pitt out of the transition chance. Carrington a 3. 1 and done, and McNeely, a little bit like Lowe at the other end, had a crack at it. Couldn't handle it. It'll stay with Pitt.
Well, this is just what we talked about with Henson. Does a great job maintaining his pivot foot. And Dunn tried to stay down but couldn't. And as soon as Dunn went up in the air, Henson slipped right by him.
Spot throw in. Here's Henson against Dunn. That's a 3 from the corner, and it's short.
You saw that ball come right back to Dunn. You got to be very careful. You block Henson out on that play.
Rhodey sliding in past Austin. Give up the drive for the pass to Beekman. McNeely for three. 60th triple of the year for Isaac McNeely, who comes in now 60 of 124, Dan, from behind the line. There's a lot on that resume, and it's all good from three-point territory.
Well, he's made his first 2 shots.
Austin tries to answer and does. Zach Austin, just his 19th three of the year. He's only averaged 4 points in the last 7 for Jeff Capel's team.
Yeah, but even though his three-point percentage isn't very high, Wes, he came in with the reputation as a guy who could shoot threes.
Here's Rhodey. Look at the double team coming. Back for Beekman. Quick look for Dunn. Nice wrap from Minor, and it got blocked by Federico. Here's Lowe trying to take advantage of the good defensive effort at the Pitt end of the floor.
Federico, an excellent shot blocker, and Pitt, an excellent shot blocking team. Nice job by Virginia to get back and prevent the easy transition.
Look away. Federico will stuff it home. Panthers in front for the first time.
Virginia's going to jump out on that screen, Wes, and when Minor does that, he's really got to work hard quickly to get back. Need a little bit more pressure on the ball. Lowe had a lot of time to find the open man.
Here's McNeely. Slides in on Lowe. Two-pointer good. Isaac McNeely was looking for the foul. He's got 7 of Virginia's 9 on his 3rd field goal.
Wes, I mean, we've talked about Virginia's defense, but this is a lot of points before the first TV timeout in a Virginia game.
Yeah. Feels like each team's trying to match one another. Here's Henson. That is a long way out. It's an air ball. It barely got to the back of the iron. Missed everything. Beekman trying to beat Lowe. Does. Runner with the left hand. Terrific shot for the senior from Milwaukee, Reese Beekman.
He is so hard to contain, Wes, and that was with his left hand. People say he doesn't drive to his left. Well, I would beg to differ.
2-point lead for the Cavaliers. Carrington tried to get by McNeely, took the contact before the shot. Isaac McNeely's going to pick up the foul. Ramey Steins out from underneath. Tickets McNeely for his first on Virginia. We get a break in the action. Offensive end, no problems. McNeely a little lean in. He's got 7 of Virginia's 11 early. Well, Tony Bennett comes into the ball game tonight as Virginia's coach. 107-25 at home against the ACC. Cavaliers have won 16 straight conference games, Dan, and they have the longest active home winning streak in the country at 23.
This is a great atmosphere, and of course, the home court doesn't win any games. It takes some pretty good players playing on the home team, and Virginia certainly has had that, although this team, I mean, I think this has been a great coaching job by the entire Virginia staff, because I think this team is certainly a whole greater than the sum of its parts kind of bunch.
You see they're 5 ahead of 4 schools, and the ball belongs to the Panthers out of the timeout after the McNeely foul. Blake Buchanan has come on the floor. He wears 0 for Virginia, as does Tane Murray, who's wearing 10 from New Zealand. 3 to shoot. It's got to go up. Here's Lowe, soft runner, baseline, no good. Federico rips it away from Buchanan. New 20 for Carrington. Here's Henson. And Bud Carrington a 3. Good. The freshman from Baltimore with his 41st 3 of the year.
Virginia gave up a lot of offensive rebounds early in the year, Wes, and that was one of the reasons why they struggled. And this is a Pitt team playing very, very well. You can't afford to give them extra opportunities.
Murray, of course, averages about 13 minutes a game off Coach Bennett's bench against the conference. Here's Beekman, baseline done against Henson. Pivot out with 6 to shoot. Beekman trying to take Carrington on the drive. Right-hander, no good.
That's good defense. Beekman's trying to get in the lane. Pitt is trying to prevent him from doing that. Keep in mind, McNeely just picked up that foul. You don't want him to get his second one.
Low, long 2. And Beekman will chase it down. Dan, it feels like a lot of activity at both ends offensively occurring kind of in that foul line area extended.
Virginia during this streak, Wes, they've done a great job scoring in the lane area.
Here's Buchanan. Cavaliers back in front. Blake is from Coeur d'Alene in Idaho. averaging 3.5 against the league.
There's a perfect example of what we're talking about. They get the ball into the lane. The defense collapses. Nice pass by Dunn.
Low. That's Ishmael. Good. Leggett knocks down the triple. Junior transfer from Rhode Island out of Prince George's County in Maryland. He's averaging 10.5 against the league.
Panthers have already made 3 3-pointers.
Pitt comes in averaging almost, well, a little more than 9 a game. It's #1 in the ACC. Here is Dunn working hard and had it batted away, recovered, and can't get the jumper to fall from the baseline.
It's really good defense by Hinson, and I think it's a good idea by Dunn to attack him.
Carrington and 1 on the triple. Murray picked up the foul, and Bub Carrington, in his first trip into the building, just pulled up on transition from 3 and knocked it down.
Wes, when you take a tough shot, that gives your opponent the opportunity to get out and go, and nobody stops him. Murray gets caught in some traffic in the lane. That's what Pitt would really like to do, so that's another 3-4 in the game now, and he's got an opportunity to make it a 4-point play.
Carrington's 83% at the line. Guillermo Diaz-Graham has checked into the ball game along with Will Jeffress for Pitt. That is 7 now for Carrington. Virginia has brought Jake Groves off the bench. He comes in, the grad transfer from Oklahoma. He's got the ball wearing 34. Beekman stays out on the floor. He's Virginia's leader. Almost 8 minutes gone this first half, and Pittsburgh's built a 6-point lead on Virginia. Here's Beekman all the way into the lane. And he will score on the bounce. Tough shot, 4 points for Reese Beekman.
Again, he goes all the way with his left hand, Wes. Pitt did a nice job cutting him off. That is a very difficult shot and an important one for Virginia. I don't think they can afford to fall far behind.
4-point lead for Pitt. Diaz-Graham. Here's Austin. Pitt doing this with Henson over there on the bench along with Lowe. Long 3, Carrington barely got to the rim. Here's the rebound for Beekman. Cavaliers in transition. Groves, who's had 4 straight double-figure games. Beekman again on the drive. Diaz-Graham the rebound. Leggett can really push the basketball up the floor here, Dan.
He can, and Virginia does a great job getting back.
Diaz-Graham a 3. So Pitt has come in here. Guillermo knocks down his 19th 3 of the year. They're on a 10-2 run, are the Panthers.
And it's just raining 3s for the Panthers, Wes.
Pitt's got 5 threes of their 8 made field goals here in the first 9 minutes and change. Groves tries to answer and does. Jake Groves, a 51% 3-point shooter. Knocks down that one. So it's a 4-point game, and we get a timeout. Leggett finds Guillermo Diaz-Graham. Pitt at one end, and then here's Jake Groves off the top of the circle for another. Well, Pitt brought their shooting stroke in the building early, Dan.
Well, they brought their shooting stroke, Wes, but they also brought their ball movement. They've done a nice job getting the ball around the perimeter, getting it inside and outside. They've made 5 3-pointers, but 10 of their 15 field goal attempts have been from 3, and that's because they've driven Virginia back into the lane and created those open opportunities.
You see the details on their 3-point shooting. And here is Carrington on a drive. He'll slip it to Austin. He'll launch. And it's a back rim miss. They crash the glass, and out of there comes Dante Harris, the junior transfer, of course, from Georgetown in our nation's capital. Jeffress stays on the floor with Diaz-Graham, Austin, Leggett, and Carrington, and there is a foul, and it's going to be on Will Jeffress, 20-year-old junior from Erie. It's his first. It's the first on Pitt. And Jeffress will come out, and Henson promptly returns for Jeff Capel.
Well, obviously, particularly with this lineup in the game for Virginia, McNeely is going to get an awful lot of attention.
And here is McNeely. You see Carrington trying to play over the top of the Buchanan screen. 5 to shoot. Buchanan against Diaz-Graham, and Leggett and Diaz-Graham forced the turnover.
Buchanan's not the guy you want to have it at the end of the shot clock.
Guillermo hands to Leggett. Step away three is an air ball. Recovered Harris. Virginia trying to run here. One short on the transition chance. Won't test Harris. He'll go all the way through, but missed the reverse. 40 points in 10.5 minutes, Dan. That's a lot for Virginia in this building.
That's particular. They've given up 22 already, Wes, and that's a lot for them to give up.
Carrington on the drive against Rhodey. And Dan, we're going back to Pitt's ability to drive the ball here.
That's what Pitt's looking to do, Wes. They're looking to drive the ball, drive the defense back, and then kick it out. They are really good at getting into the lane and then spraying the ball around.
Jalen Lowe for Bob Carrington in Jeff Capel's lineup. And there is Carrington checking out, freshman from Baltimore, who leads Pitt in scoring in all games at 13.5. Blake Henson's their scoring leader in conference play at 16 a game. Here is Henson. Now for Lowe, ahead of 9 minutes to go in this first half. Panthers holding to the 4-point lead. Henson, he'll take it against Harris. Euro got him in the lane, and he scores. Crowd wanted to travel.
Well, Wes, the definition of a Euro is a travel, but it's legal now.
It's your favorite part of the game right now, isn't it?
Absolutely. Love those Euro steps.
McNeely in a scramble at the midcourt area with Leggett. Held ball will go to Virginia. And here's Blake Henson. You can count him at home.
Well, Henson, again, they're driving the ball into the lane. You can see in the background, everybody in the crowd is giving the traveling signal.
And Henson was looking for the and one.
Well, Henson is a very optimistic basketball player.
Oh, yeah. And what's the term you used at Cameron? Exuberant?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. 6 to shoot for Virginia. Groves fires again. Diaz-Graham tapped it away, and here's Jalen Lowe and Pitt with a 6-point lead.
And after a quick offensive start by Virginia, Pitt's defense has tightened up. The Cavaliers struggling to find a good shot.
And there's a turnover maybe by Pitt. Yes, open floor. It's done to the basket. A defensive spark for Tony Bennett's club. That's the sophomore, his first bucket.
That is a great play by Harris, who created that whole mess. And then how about that last step by Dunn to the basket?
8 minutes to go first half. 4-point lead for Pitt. Leggett got off the Diaz-Graham screen. Bennett wanted a moving screen called on Diaz-Graham. Here is Lowe. Left-hand floater. Too strong. McNeely into the front court. Here's Groves. Harris off the screen.
Harris is a guy looking to drive the ball to create opportunities as well, Wes.
McNeely a step back at the top, and it's no good. And the foul on Leggett will get Isaac McNeely. 3 free throws when we continue tonight from Charlottesville. Terrific defensive play out here in the midcourt area. Gets Ryan Dunn on the board at John Paul Jones Arena. Well, 24-20, Pitt the 4-point lead, and you see Pitt's 24 points. These are the most points allowed in the first half by Virginia at home in their 6 conference games so far this year. And Pitt's got 24 with 7.5 to go.
I think it speaks to how well Pitt has played defensively. Again,
right.
They've been able to get in the lane. They've been able to move the ball. 12 of their 19 field goal attempts have been from 3-point range.
So we'll keep an eye on that. I'm sure Tony Bennett's well aware. Isaac McNeely at the line. He's 89%. First of 3 is good. We told you, leads the country in 3-point field goal percentage. He's first in the ACC at 51% in conference play. Talented free throw shooter.
Well, West still, though, he's shooting 51% from out there, but you just mentioned he's almost 90% from the free throw line. So when you foul him shooting a three, you take him from a 50% shooter to a 90% shooter.
Yep. So he's got 10, and Virginia to within 1. Here's Henson around Dunn, stopped by Groves. Pretty well played defensively by Virginia there. 10 to shoot, and Carrington back on the floor with the ball. Henson, step in three, back rim. Federico tried to keep it alive. Dunn there for Virginia, and a foul will be called on Austin, I believe. So Zach Austin, the 6'7" junior transfer from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, his first. That's the third on Jeff Capel's team.
Boy, what a great job by Dunn to go up and get that ball.
Yeah. Cavaliers trying to take the lead. Out front, Groves. Crowd here at JPJ was ready for Jake to cut that loose.
Well, he didn't really look like he was ready to shoot it when he caught it. And as well as he's been shooting it, you got to be ready all the time.
Harris finding his way into traffic, kicks it for Beekman on the drive. Virginia leads. The reason he is who he is that play right there.
But that's the reason Virginia is who they are too, Wes. No panic at the end of the shot clock. They still get a real good shot.
7 in a row by the Cavaliers, and a turnover by Pitt. Here is Dunn through traffic. Ooh, speeds Beekman and got blocked by Federico. I think Ryan Dunn got caught between maybe going for a dunk and feeding Reese Beekman.
Well, I think he was going to try to challenge Federico and changed his mind at the last time and slipped a little bit. Federico can really run and really block shots, and the Virginia defense has really picked it up.
Dunn now gets it to McNeely, but oh my, Isaac McNeely from Culpeper missed everything. He launched that from up Highway 29, Dan.
He sure did. Now, he has that kind of range, but on that particular occasion, Virginia really had an advantage. Groves inside against Leggett. Groves was trying to post up, but the Cavaliers couldn't find him.
Still 1-point lead for Virginia. Here's Leggett and Pitt.
And you saw it's been 3 minutes since Pitt scored.
Yep. Here's Lowe trying to answer, and does. A three for the freshman, Jalen Lowe, his first points of the night. Averaging nearly 12 against the league. He's pushed Pitt back in front.
And that's now 6 threes out of the Panthers' 10 field goals.
McNeely. Pitt doing a pretty good job defensively, Dan, here in this first half.
They really are playing well defensively. They're preventing Virginia from getting into the lane, except this guy can go anywhere he wants.
Beekman left it short, and it's rebounded by Federico.
But that's a great job by Henson to cut him off. Henson is not a guy noted for his defensive prowess, but he played really good defense right there.
Under 5 to go in this first half. Here's Lowe. Couldn't get through. Here's Henson against Groves with 10 to shoot. He'll step back, 4-3, got it. Blake Henson now with 9. That's his first triple of the night.
And so, Wes, they went on a scoring drought of more than 3 minutes, but now they've knocked down a couple of threes.
And the Panthers in front now. 6-0 run in the last minute for Coach Capel's team.
And the defense has been able to keep Virginia on the perimeter.
Inside, Dunn strong to the basket. Ryan Dunn's second field goal.
That's a good cut and a good pass, and Dunn really jumped quickly on that shot. I think he surprised Federico.
Still a 3-point lead for the Panthers. Gamble to Beekman, Carrington, and Leggett stepped out of bounds. Caught it in the deep corner. That'll get us to a timeout, and even 4 minutes to play in this first half. Pitt on the road trying to pick up a 5th ACC road win. Blake Henson shoots him to a 3-point lead. Well, you see Pitt huddled around Jeff Capel, who, by the way, turned 49 yesterday with his team traveling here to Charlottesville. We told you it's always nice when the script works, isn't it? We told you about Blake Henson and Isaac McNeely at the top. Henson has 9 in this first half, including a 3. McNeely has knocked down 2 twos, a 3, and 3 free throws. Dan?
Well, of course, Wes, we wouldn't tell you about it if the script didn't work. We would just ignore it. But yes, these two guys have been important factors. And Wes, the interesting thing about that, as you just mentioned with Henson, he's got those 9 points, but he only has 1 3-point basket out of the 7 that the Panthers have in the first half.
And Pitt has done a nice job of creating offense by driving the ball, Dan.
Well, that's what Pitt does. They're very strong in the backcourt. They don't really have a back-to-the-basket guy inside.
Here is Beekman against Carrington. Now McNeely for 3 over Leggett. And Carrington the rebound of the miss by the sophomore from Polka, West Virginia. Lowe tried to run Rhodey into a screen. He played over the top nicely.
It's hard to get by Reese Beekman without some help with a screen.
Jalen Lowe on a reroute against Rhodey with the left hand, fell off the iron. Federico tried to keep it alive. Virginia controls.
Good block out by Groves. I mean, he actually had to fight him to keep him away from the ball.
Yep. Groves on the attack. Now we'll leave it for Beekman.
Pitt doing a really good job pressuring Virginia's 3-point shooters.
Yep. Inside 3 to go, 7 to shoot. Here's Dunn. Fall away, 2 is good. Boy, 6 for Ryan Dunn in this first half. Dan, last 4 games, he's only averaged 3.5 points on 6 of 11 field goal shooting.
Now, he's not a 3-point shooter, Wes, but he needs to do that. Drive the ball to the basket, get those close and mid-range shots.
Cavaliers to within 1. Henson. Leggett thought about it on Rhodey. Drives baseline, shoves it to Federico. He traveled, yep.
See, that wasn't a Euro, so they'll call that.
Federico knew what he wanted to do with it, but in the process, he wanted to see if he couldn't get Groves to commit. And Pitt ends with a turnover.
Now, they're not looking for a lot of offense from Federico. He's in there to rebound, to play defense, to run on the break.
In traffic, there's Groves. Second field goal for Jake Groves, first 2-pointer. 6 in a row for Virginia now, pushes them in front.
And we've seen streaks in this game, Wes. Each team runs at the other one.
Final 2 minutes of the first half from Charlottesville. Leggett for Henson. Dunn defends him with 10 to shoot. Henson will fire. It's partially blocked. Dunn got a hand up there. Good play by Ryan Dunn.
He's a tremendous defender.
Groves for the lead. Couldn't extend it.
And that's a quick shot in the Virginia offense, but he was wide open.
Look at that. Federico missed the bounce pass right to Lowe, and the 3 no good. And Jalen Lowe goes to get his own rebound and picks up a Cavalier foul along the way.
Boy, that's a mistake by Rhodey, Wes. You have to block out the shooter. That's the second time in the game we've seen the ball come off and basically come right back to the shooter. The first time Ryan Dunn blocked out, that time Rhodey didn't.
Yep. Foul is on Groves. Or no, Ryan Dunn. It's his first. It is 4 on Virginia in this first half.
And you see Rhodey, he's just behind the play, and Dunn didn't mean to do that. He just ran into him.
1-point lead for the Cavaliers. Carrington trying to get something going here. Bob with 7 to shoot. Can't get around McNeely. Uses a Diaz-Graham screen, and then he threw it to Tony Bennett.
Well, you know, Henson's a good 3-point shooter. Tony Bennett was a great 3-point shooter.
And Jeff Capel not happy that Tony Bennett almost caught the pass.
Tony Bennett showing us some quickness, getting out of the way.
A little more disappointed Isaiah Wilkins on the Virginia bench didn't make a play. Not to mention Jason Williford over there, who's also capable. Inside, here's Groves to catch.
That's a tough pass.
Yeah, inside of a minute to go, 10 to shoot for the Cavaliers here. Beekman picked up on the dribble, and Henson deflected it, or it would have been a Virginia turnover. 5 on the shot clock, and you see 52.2 to go in this first half at Charlottesville.
That's a bad break for Pitt, and that really helps Virginia now to get to have a set play to try to score in the last 5 seconds of the shot clock.
See who they try and get it to. Beekman. It is done. And he thought about driving Diaz-Graham. Henson, after Carrington knocked it away, collects.
That's a good idea, but great defense by Carrington.
Timeout. So 1-point lead for Virginia. Jeff Capel a timeout in Charlottesville. Back in a moment. Well, don't forget ACC Network coming up on Saturday. We got a triple header for you. Dan and I will be in Chapel Hill for North Carolina, Virginia Tech, second meeting of the year. Then Miami at Boston College, presented by Food Lion. The Pitt Panthers will host Louisville, second meeting of the year between those two at 6:30, all here on ACC Network. Jeff Capel's team trying to win not just their 5th road game. Pitt's trying to beat Virginia in Charlottesville for just the 2nd time. Tonight's the 25th meeting between the two. Virginia's won 8 of the last 9. Last year, Pitt won a 3-point game at the Peterson Event Center. Here is Lowe with a half minute to go in this first frame, and the Panthers trailing a point. Lowe on the drive against Beekman. Diaz-Graham for the lead, and it's good. Guillermo from in the corners got 6.
Wes, and again, the defense collapses. Groves got a little too far off that time. I think in that situation, you have to rely on Reese Beekman to hold up his end of the bargain.
9 lead changes in this first half, and here's a turnover to Leggett, and he's fouled by Beekman trying to get down the floor before the final 2 seconds go off the clock.
I think they're going to review that, Wes. They're going to call that a flagrant foul.
So the foul is on Beekman. It's going to be his first. It's the 5th on Virginia.
Beekman turns the ball over and just wraps his arms around him. That's by definition, Wes. They used to call that an intentional foul, and this is where the flagrant foul came in. He's not making a play on the ball. He's just wrapping his arms around him.
So Tony Bennett with some instruction here, while Brian O'Connell. It is going to be a flagrant 1 on Reese Beekman. And Dan's going to visit with Brian O'Connell here. So it'll be a flagrant on Beekman. 2 shots for Ishmael Leggett.
Well,
who I think is going to shoot the free throws on the flagrant at 82%. He's the 9th best free throw shooter in the ACC.
And this is interesting because Virginia has the ball with a chance to get the last shot, and instead they're going to give up 2 free throws, and then Pitt's going to still have 2 seconds to get the last shot.
First of the 2 for Leggett is good. 4 in this first half for the young man from Prince George's County, Maryland.
And of course, Wes, this isn't a technical foul, it's a flagrant foul. So on a flagrant foul, the guy who is fouled is the one who shoots.
Right. And in Pitt's case, that probably would have been the guy anyway, right? 5 for Lowe, or 5 for Leggett in this first half. And the lead is 4 for Pitt. And a chance for more, as you noted.
Well, did you get enough time to catch it, dribble, and shoot it?
Here's Carrington with 2, launches for 3, missed everything halftime here in Charlottesville. So Pittsburgh came out, shot it beautifully, Dan, to start the ball game. We've had 9 lead changes in the first 20 minutes.
Well, really good first half by Pitt, both offensively and defensively. And when you make 8 threes in a half, you're in pretty good shape.
35-31, Pittsburgh leads number 21, Virginia. Here at the half, here's Justin Walters and Joel Barrett. Well, second half, game 1 of our ACC Network doubleheader tonight. We're in Charlottesville at John Paul Jones Arena, Virginia. Number 21 in the country's got a 23-game home winning streak. And here at the break, they trail the Pitt Panthers by a score 35-31. Wes Durham, Dan Bonner, great to have you with us. The game has been interesting. 9 lead changes in the opening 20 minutes, Dan.
Well, we had a couple of runs there. Each team took a turn taking runs at one another. And what you have is a very interesting situation here. The Pitt Panthers have shot the 3 very well. They've made 8 3-point baskets. And interestingly enough, their best 3-point shooter is Hinson, and he's only made 1. But 8 threes have been a big deal for Pitt. And Virginia West, they've only taken 6 3-point shots. McNeely knocked it down there. McNeely has been a big part of the offense, but this is going to come down, Wes. I think defense is going to make a statement before the end of the game. Virginia with a great steal there, and here Pitt picking up the ball. And there haven't been many turnovers, only 3 by Virginia and 5 by Pitt, but each team has taken advantage.
Boy, there's an interesting little dynamic about this game, and Tony Bennett brought it to our attention before the game. Here's the summary, as you see. Most first half points allowed by Virginia at home. In fact, in ACC play, Only NC State and Notre Dame have scored more in the first half against the Cavaliers than have these Pitt Panthers, and both those were road games. Dare I say road losses in the case of Virginia. But Tony Bennett brought up the short prep for his team, given the Saturday night win at Florida State, and that it's been 6 days since Pitt won at NC State, Dan.
And I think, Wes, that short preparation, I think it's more visible on the offensive end than the defensive end. Yes, Virginia's given up 35 points, and that's more than usual, but it's hard to limit your opponent when they make 8 threes.
Here's Henson at the top to start the half, and it rolls in. That is 12 now for Henson, and that is his second 3 of the ball game. And the lead balloons to its biggest of the night of 7.
And Virginia has really struggled to score, Wes.
Out front, Rhodey to answer, and does. First points of the night for the sophomore transfer from Milwaukee.
That's a big basket. Virginia is a team, they average almost 19 three-point attempts per game. They only had 6 in the first half, so the Panthers did a really nice job limiting their three-point opportunities.
Federico hands to Lowe, cuts it right back inside. Federico had it roll off the rim, and Ryan Dunn collects.
Well, he barely got himself back in bounds.
He did. Very close. We might have to have another look to see if he actually made it. Here's Beekman curling around off the window and in. Cavaliers a little bit more aggressive in terms of the early phase of the offense, it looks like, in 2 possessions.
Much better movement by the Cavaliers on the offensive end.
5 in a row, cuts the Pitt lead to 2. Carrington, here's Federico.
He's not going to hurt you from the free throw line.
Carrington will, though, got all the way down, fed Federico, and a foul will be called, I believe, here on Minor, and it is on Jordan Minor. It'll be his first. It's first. Another look here. Ryan Dunn now. Watch him off the in line. Ooh.
Well, he had that 1 foot. You don't have to have both feet in bounds. He had that 1 foot in bounds.
Okay.
It's in the NFL.
2 on Sundays, 1 on Saturday. It's an easy way to remember that. Carrington. 10 to shoot. Henson. Against Dunn is Carrington. Back for Henson over Minor. Off the back rim. Pulled away by Beekman.
The key there for Virginia was they were able to keep Carrington out of the lane.
2 minutes in, Tony Bennett's got Blake Buchanan at the table. Here's Rhodey feeding to Minor and a scoop and score. How about that? Virginia's tied it on the second field goal of the night by the grad transfer from Merrimack.
Well, if you get it inside, Wes, then I think that's a good move on Virginia's part, particularly when a guy as powerful as Minor can go up against Federico.
And Federico is fouled on his attempt to deliver the basketball. Second on Minor, second on Virginia. And Blake Buchanan was coming for Jordan Minor anyway. So Jordan Minor will take a seat. And he's going to sit between Ron Sanchez and Isaiah Wilkins on that Virginia bench for a little bit of a whiteboard session, it looks like, with Isaiah. Federico against Buchanan. And Buchanan knocked it away. Here's Dunn with the Pitt turnover. Crosses over for the lead and a foul. And it's going to be on Federico.
Federico picked up that foul, but he actually did a pretty good job, Wes. Not here. He turns the ball over. Again, Federico's not a danger out there. But look at Federico move his feet and stay between Dunn and the basket and force a tough shot, although he did pick up the foul.
So here's Dunn at the line. Not a particularly strong free throw shooter at 58%. And the first one is short. Don't forget, Thursday, another women's basketball doubleheader for you on ACC Network and the ESPN app. And, of course, NC State is at Notre Dame. Terrific matchup there. Neil Ivey and Wes Moore. And then the nightcap is in Blacksburg. Kenny Brooks and Virginia Tech at number 12 in the country. Welcome Duke at 8 o'clock. It's all on ACC Network and all on the ESPN app. Dunn missed them both.
And Virginia is not a great free throw shooting team, Wes. Last in the conference. And in a tight game, you might come back to bite you.
Carrington. Here's Henson trying to get around Dunn. Now Lowe Right back for a wide open Henson three. Too strong, slapped out, and Jeff Capel will play it off the bounce. Zach Austin, I think, is the guy that was contesting it for Pitt. It'll belong to the Cavaliers.
That's a break for Virginia right there. Both Dunn and Beekman stayed with Lowe, and that left Henson all alone. And that is not a very good plan, and they got away with it.
Rhodey. And here is Beekman trying to take Carrington off a Buchanan screen.
Nice job by Henson to play off Dunn out beyond the three-point arc.
And now Beekman lobbing, catch Buchanan. Terrific playmaking by the Cavaliers. Freshman from Idaho's got 4, and Pitt wants a timeout. So 3.5 in, we've got our 10th lead change. Virginia's on a 9-0 run. And the Cavaliers, who fell behind on an early Henson three, take the lead on an alley-oop to Buchanan. Well, you always hear coaches talk about guys who can impact the game. How about Blake Buchanan in 1 minute here in the second half, Dan?
Wes, he comes in the game, makes a defensive play, and then he does a nice job rolling to the basket. He's ready for the ball, and a great pass by Beekman. But this has been one of the keys to this Cavalier 8-game winning streak. They're bringing guys off the bench who make contributions, maybe in 10 minutes, maybe in 2 minutes, but that's very important when you can bring guys in who can contribute.
Long way from Northwestern Idaho, isn't it? My goodness. 2-point lead for Virginia. Here's Henson working against McNeely. Double team coming with Buchanan. Split it and lays it up and in. 5.5, 14 tonight for Blake Henson.
Wes, we said it before, when Henson gets in that position, he is shooting the ball. He's not passing. Very poor double team by Virginia that time.
McNeely against Lowe. Buchanan stays on the floor, by the way, in the timeout, where it looked like he was just coming for a coaching session with Minor. Here is Beekman, and 1 on the bounce. 10 for Beekman. Virginia breaks the 40-all tie on the foul. Free throws when we continue from Charlottesville. Oh, Reese Beekman's going to be involved here tonight, folks. Well, we're headed to the NBA All-Star break, Dan. And Kihei Clark's here tonight at JPJ. Of course, the purveyor of one of the greatest plays in NCAA tournament history, a national champion, the ACC's all-time leader in assists, right?
And he was here for a long time, so people are used to seeing him, and they welcome him back.
Yes, they do. Now playing with the Bucks G League team. And here is Reese Beekman, Tony Bennett's current iteration of the Cavaliers, trying to complete a three-point play, and does with the free throw.
And Beekman, Wes, in this game has 11 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists.
And he's got 13 double-figure games in ACC play, only the game at Louisville the night he failed to reach that. And he had 9 points in that game. Cavaliers by 3. Here's Federico into the corner. Leggett jump shooting for the tie, and it's good. Ishmael Leggett now with 8. That's his second 3 of the game.
And Rhodey had to drop all the way down in there, and he stopped Federico, but that left Leggett wide open, and Pitt continues to be hot from the three-point line.
Here's McNeely. Dunn, now Rhodey. Back for Dunn. Nice play by the Cavaliers.
You can play off Dunn if he's out beyond the three-point line, but Dunn did a really nice job stepping in on the pass. You got to guard him when he's in the middle of the lane.
Tell you what, we're seeing some really good coaching tonight, too, in terms of plays and working against the other team and what their tendencies are. Saw that in consecutive plays, by the way. Here's Henson on the drive. He'll push it up and in. Blake Henson now, 7.5, 16 in the ball game.
Wes, he's really made some plays taking the ball to the basket.
Yeah.
He's not just a three-point shooter. He shoots a lot of threes.
Tied at 45. Here's McNeely.
And McNeely's having a hard time getting open.
Leggett right with him. 10 to shoot, and we get a Brian O'Connell whistle. And is it on Federico? I think it is. Nope. Bob Carrington, his second, third on Pitt. Dan, we saw Jeff Capel today walk his team through forcing Virginia to make decisions defensively, and we saw it here.
Well, this is what we're talking about. Rhodey's got to drop down inside to prevent an easy basket, and so they kick it out to a three-point shooter. But that's excellent execution offensively by Pitt.
Beekman all the way through. He'll score easily. That's way too easy for Jeff Capel's liking, I'm sure.
Well, Wes, again, the scouting report on Beekman is make him go left, but he's gone left a number of times tonight and been very productive.
Cavaliers have hit their first 7 shots of the half here. Almost a turnover, going to the basket, and one for Jalen Lowe. Tony Bennett wanted to carry, didn't get it. And the basket will count for Lowe, and he'll get a free throw. And Reese Beekman just picked up his third.
Well, Beekman got that foul, West, because he slapped his hand down. And I'm not sure he really made contact, but that's almost an automatic for an official when that hand slaps down like that. And now the Cavaliers, this is going to be a key stretch of the game. Beekman has been their key guy tonight.
And here is Lowe for the free throw and left it on the front rim. 5 for Jalen Lowe tonight. Tied at 47 again, Dan.
The Cavaliers have made up that 4-point halftime deficit, but even though they've made all their shots in the second half, they can't get any separation.
There's McNeely, and that rolls in. Virginia perfect still from the floor. 12 for McNeely. That's his first points since he was fouled on the three-pointer.
Well, again, they've really done a nice job preventing him from catching the ball. And he just did a nice job moving without it.
Diaz-Graham for Ishmael Leggett. Working all the way through. Back for Henson. 3 over the top of Dunn is good.
And there's not much you can do about that. Dunn was right there. But again, the defense collapses and they kick it out to Henson.
19 for Henson on his third 3. Back in front go the Panthers. Harris can't get all the way through against Carrington. Now Tane Murray, who's also got Groves out there on the floor. Here's Harris for 3. And that's Virginia's first miss of the second half. Leggett and the Panthers stopping and shooting. That's a 2 for Leggett. And it's pulled away by Virginia.
Weston Harris has only made 2 threes all year. He's now 0 for 9 in ACC play, so Pitt's very comfortable with him shooting the ball from out there.
Here is Groves all the way in. Left it on the front rim. Knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Dunn, says Ramey Steins.
This is a situation where Groves, I mean, that's a shot that he would normally make, and as well as he has been shooting the ball, he's very frustrated. He missed that one. Dunn clearly knocked it out of bounds. But again, Pitt doing a nice job pressuring the ball without fouling in there.
Carrington against McNeely. Oh, Diaz-Graham all the way to the basket. Wide open, and Guillermo and now has 8 in the ball game.
Well, Wes, I didn't think he was going to turn around and look at the basket to see how wide open he was.
3-point lead for the Panthers. Murray for McNeely. Leggett right there.
Wesson, that last play was a product of Pitt's 3-point shooting.
No look for Murray. What a pass by McNeely. First bucket for Tane Murray.
What a great cut by Murray. Again, with Beekman out of the game, this is a key stretch for Virginia.
1-point lead for Pitt. Carrington, foul out again. They skip it for the left-hander Lowe. Good for 3.
So, Wes, the last time they don't collapse on Graham and he gets it 2. That time they do collapse on Graham and he kicks it out for a 3.
The lead is 4 for Pitt. Under 11 to go in Charlottesville.
The Panthers are executing a very well-conceived game plan.
Yep. Murray on the drive. Harris back from Murray's 3. Carrington recovers it.
And this is a situation, if you're Virginia, you don't want to get frustrated on the offensive end, but you're having a tough time scoring, so you have to dig in defensively.
Here's Buchanan trying to help on Carrington. That's a mismatch, though, isn't it, Dan?
Yes, it is.
Here's Carrington. Now Buchanan going to play it straight up. Left side, Leggett feeling it, and a foul going to be called as Diaz-Graham got thrown down in the fray. And it's going to be on Groves. So Jake Groves from Spokane draws his first. 4 on Virginia. Tell you what now, the playmaking by Pitt at the offensive end has staked the Panthers to a 4-point lead. Well, Jeff Capel's team has come in here tonight, Dan. They're operating from behind the line. 12 threes in the ball game. That's the most allowed by a Virginia team this year. They had allowed 11 to Notre Dame and 11 to Virginia Tech. And you see their numbers, and in particular, Dan, 45% of their field goal attempts are threes.
Well, Wes, obviously, we said they're a three-point shooting team, but they haven't created very many threes in transition, but they create their threes by forcing the defense to collapse, either with the dribble or the pass, and then kicking it out. They've got 5 guys tonight who have made at least 2 3-point baskets. So it hasn't just all been Blake Hinson. He's got 3.
Panthers hit 12 in the ball game at Louisville, and there
Hinson has 4.
Is a Hinson 3 again. Out of the timeout, Blake Hinson now is starting to do Blake Hinson things. He's got 22.
Wes, and I think we're at a danger point in this game for Virginia. They started the second half so hot, and yet they still have fallen behind.
Here's Leggett off the turnover. Cavaliers are trying to catch another guy sliding back door. Diaz-Graham stepped right in front. Carrington for Diaz-Graham against Buchanan.
Well, you're a team built on defense, and so now you got to get some stops.
Carrington underneath. Look at the ball movement. Here's Leggett going back baseline against Buchanan. Rolled off the side iron.
Good job by Buchanan. Just go straight up.
Boy, productive minutes for Buchanan, Dan.
Absolutely. Now Virginia's got to put. They started the half very hot. They've cooled off here recently.
Beekman rewinds on the dribble, and we're going to get a hand check on Pitt.
And the other thing that the Panthers have done really well here in the second half, Wes, they are playing off Ryan Dunn when he goes out beyond the three-point line.
Carrington's third. It's the 4th on Pitt. And here is Zach Austin checking in to replace Bob Carrington.
Now, Carrington goes out, but with Leggett in the game along with Lowe, the Panthers are pretty deep at that guard spot.
7-point lead for Pitt. Here's Murray. Rhodey had a 3 to start the proceedings for Virginia early in this half.
Boy, Rhodey missed Dunn on a mismatch inside.
Now Murray working against Hinson all the way in, and Tane Murray fouled on the drive, and it's going to be on the senior from Deltona, Florida, Blake Hinson. 5th on Pitt. And that's going to send Tane Murray from the North Island of New Zealand, where he's just 10 of 16 at the free throw line, to the stripe for a pair here. And the first from Murray is no good. Don't forget, ACC softball's underway. The Shriners Children's Clearwater Invitational is on ACC Network. Action starts on Thursday with a pair of games. You see action continuing on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday involving ACC schools, Carolina and Georgia Tech, the 2 member schools, over the weekend on just a terrific event that opens each softball campaign out in Clearwater. 1 of 2 from Murray. It's a 6-point Pittsburgh advantage here. Diaz-Graham. Now Leggett against Rhodey. Leggett for Lowe. 10 to shoot. Here goes Jalen Lowe against maybe the best on-ball defender in the league. Diaz-Graham a 3. Won't go. Kept alive, and Austin tried to track it down. Couldn't save it before it bounced on the line in the far corner.
Wes, Diaz-Graham missed that, but he had a wide open opportunity. Very late closeout by Buchanan. But again, drawing the defense in and then kicking it out for the 3.
Yep. 6-point advantage for Pitt. Beekman circling around. 12 to shoot. Rhodey for Buchanan. Fall away. Bounced away. Low the recovery.
And the other thing that the Panthers have done really well, Wes, is rebound the ball defensively. Pitt is a good defensive rebounding team, and they've certainly shown that tonight.
There's Lowe, and he's fouled by Buchanan. So Blake Buchanan draws his first. 5 on the half on Virginia. Pittsburgh up 6, the under 8 in Charlottesville. 6-point lead for the Panthers, under 8 to go. And Jeff Capel, who turned 49 years of age yesterday, had an open date over the weekend. So what do you do on your open date? Well, Jeff Capel went home to Southview High School in Fayetteville, North Carolina, to have his jersey number retired, Dan.
There you go.
An amazing accomplishment. A guy who has done just a marvelous job in building back Pitt basketball.
Boy, he sure has. They were in woeful condition when he took over.
Lowe all the way through, the runner good. Jalen Lowe with another big bucket, 7 of his 10 in the second half. It's his 7th double-figure, Dan, in the last 8 games.
And when he gets in the lane with that little floater, Wes, that's almost automatic.
Beekman on the drive, Leggett there, and one coming for Reese Beekman.
Well, that's a big basket, Wes, but you know, it's weird to say this about Virginia, but if you're going to rally in the game, you can't just trade baskets. You got to get some stops. In Virginia, the last couple possessions has had problems getting stops.
Leggett the foul. It was his second. It is 6 on Virginia, or rather Pitt. So Beekman will go to the line here, where he hit a free throw a moment ago and misses that opportunity at the three-point trip.
Well, now Virginia's 5 of 9 from the three-point line, or from the free throw line. And Wes, they only have 8 three-point attempts. Pitt wanted to run them off the three-point line, and they've done that.
Diaz-Graham thought about it. Now he'll take it down the lane. Can't score it. Leggett the rebound, and a foul on Virginia. Dunn is shaken up. Leggett took a tumble, and Clarence Armstrong's got a whistle. And it's on Ryan Dunn. The guy who was on the floor holding his head draws his second, and the 6th on the Cavaliers.
It's like they called a trip. Dunn comes over, does a nice job. He got that one, and he falls down, and he kicked his leg out and got. That's pretty talented to get a foul when you're laying on the ground.
First of 2 for Leggett, no good. Don't forget, triple header of ACC basketball coming up on Saturday. We'll start in Chapel Hill. Tar Heels and Hokies for a second time. Miami at Boston College at 4. Louisville at Pitt, 6:30, all on ACC Network. Leggett, and the crowd does not get the bacon.
Well, they're interested in the bacon, but they're also interested in trying their team winning this game, so they could have used another miss.
7-point lead for Pitt. 7 to go here at Charlottesville. Cross-court pass. This is Rhodey. Long 2, and the rebound for Henson. You didn't like the shot? I
did not, but what I liked was the defense by Leggett. He went out there and ran Rhodey off the three-point line. And that's what Pitt was trying to do.
Diaz-Graham thought about the hedge. Groves beat on the double. Now Lowe trying to get into traffic. Slips it to Carrington. He'll skip it. This is Henson. Step away 3 in the corner is good. Blake Henson. That is 4 threes in the half, 5 in the game. The lead is 10 with 6:28 to play. And Henson's road show in this league continues, Dan.
Well, and it's not like he doesn't have pressure. A great fake. Knocks it down.
Well, Pittsburgh tonight trying to get their 7th win in the league. It would be their 2nd win in Charlottesville. It's been 50 years since Pitt beat Virginia. They did it at University Hall January 2nd, 1974. In front of 8,013. Billy Knight had 34 points and 16 rebounds. Gus Gerard led Virginia with 25, and Dan Bonner had 2 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists in the Panther victory.
Wow, I had 4 assists.
You had 4 assists, and I checked the turnovers. It wasn't as bad as you thought.
Well, I remember Pitt coming in and laying one on us.
Leggett commits his third. 7 on Pitt, Dan, with 6:18 to play. So here's a 1-and-1 for Reese Beekman. And the front end rolls in. 10 in the game now for Beekman. You know what else is on the line tonight? That right there. 23 straight wins at John Paul Jones Arena. Beekman hits them both. It's an 8-point game.
Well, West Virginia's going to have some work to do here. They started out this second half very hot, but they have cooled off.
Carrington against Groves, who's come into the ball game.
But their biggest problem has been on this end. They can't get a stop.
Carrington tried to take Groves to the basket. Ball got knocked away. Brian O'Connell says no foul, turned over by Pitt. The freshman wanted a foul, didn't get it.
Wes, there was a lot of contact there, but I thought Carrington initiated all of it.
Under 6 to go. Here's Beekman trying to drive again. Groves for 3. Nope. Diaz-Graham tried to keep it alive, and Leggett finally pulled it away against Ryan Dunn.
Well, Leggett at 6'3" is Pitt's leading rebounder, and that was a very strong rebound right there.
Henson for Carrington. Left side here is Jalen Lowe. This freshman plays with a lot of poise, Dan, especially on the road in the ACC. Here's Lowe. He'll take Groves into traffic. Fall away. Got it. Jalen Lowe now has 9.5, a dozen in the ball game, and it's a 10-point lead again ahead of 5 minutes.
And he just continues to make big shots, Wes.
Beekman with Carrington. Here's McNeely. Tried to go back to Dunn, turned over. Here is Leggett. He's got to beat 2 guys to the basket. He doesn't. Henson, however, cleans up the miss.
Wes, I thought that was a situation where the pass was going to the right spot, but Dunn just stood there. He had to step into that pass, and I think he had an easy basket.
Largest lead of the night now for the Panthers of a dozen. Henson's got 27 in the ball game.
Wes, and Virginia just is all out of sorts on offense right at the moment.
Carrington will walk it to the midcourt area, get it to Jalen Lowe.
Wes, and this game was tied at 47.
Here is Lowe again on the drive, tried to slip it away, got deflected out of bounds. Last touch by Virginia with 9 to shoot.
Wes, without making three-point shots, it's going to be hard for Virginia to come back in this game. And the Panthers have done a really good job defending the 3. Not just defending it, but eliminating it. The Cavaliers have only attempted 9 threes on the evening.
Henson another 3, missed everything that time. And Rhodey will box out Leggett, and it will belong to Virginia here just ahead of 4 minutes to go. Pitt is 6 of 11 from behind the three-point line in the second half, Dan.
And they were like 8 for 19 in the first half, so.
Yep. Here's McNeely.
It's a nice job by Lowe to be right there when he catches the ball, so he has no chance to shoot the 3.
McNeely on the drive against Henson. Now for Rhodey over Carrington. Too strong. Henson the rebound.
And again, this Virginia struggles to score, Wes, and so when you need a lot of points in a short period of time, guys start to press.
You see Pitt gets the offense going with this high weave. And now here's Carrington settling in, three-pointer away, and the long rebound will be collected by Ishmael Leggett.
And Jeff Capel's telling him just back it out.
They got a new 20. Be about 3 minutes to go when this possession ends. Here's Carrington all the way in with the left hand and scores. Bob Carrington's now got 9. And Pitt's got a 14-point lead with less than 3 to play.
Wes, McNeely's done a pretty good job most of the night keeping Carrington in front of him, but not that time. How about these freshman guards making plays down the stretch, Wes?
Yep. Leggett, The transfer from Rhode Island's been huge. Jalen Lowe and Carrington as of late. Well, Blake Henson has a knack for doing things, Dan, especially on the road in hostile environments.
He likes hostile environments, Wes, and you saw him score on the inside, and he's gotten hot from the three-point line in the second half. And when he gets hot, look out if you're the opposition, and it's really been a problem for the Panthers, or for Virginia tonight.
Here's the 40 factor for Pitt. When the Panthers get two guys to 40 or more in a conference game, look what happens. They had 41 of Henson and Austin, 41 of Henson and Lowe at Duke, Leggett and Carrington 46 at Virginia. Tonight, Henson and Lowe are a point off with 2:54 to go, Dan.
Well, you figure they're going to get some chances as the game goes on. And Virginia desperately in need of a basket here.
McNeely misses on the three, Leggett the rebound.
But it was a very highly contested three. Lowe has done a really nice job on the defensive end as well.
Yep. Jalen Lowe, in his first appearance at the John Paul Jones Arena, this freshman from Missouri City, Texas, is just a fearless player, it feels like, in this kind of resurgence of the Panthers. Here's Lowe, caught in a double team, got to get rid of it, fires to Diaz-Graham. Here's Ishmael Leggett. He'll beat Tane Murray to the basket. Can't score as the shot clock goes off, and Murray sticks around to grab the board.
Now the Cavaliers have to push it, Wes.
Sure do. Murray, Groves, quickly. Here's McNeely over Diaz-Graham for three.
That's great ball movement.
15 for Isaac McNeely. 11-point game inside of 2 minutes.
And when Virginia has success, Wes, generally they can force turnovers and score points off turnovers, but they haven't had much luck there tonight.
Here is Lowe. Skip in for Leggett out of the corner for three. Bounces out. Diaz-Graham tried to save it. Did to Leggett. And a timeout called by Pitt with Leggett on all fours gathering the basketball.
But Diaz-Graham was trying to tip it, and I thought it was going out of bounds. How Leggett controlled it, I do not know.
So Pitt gets into the huddle here on the 32nd timeout. You see Jeff Capel huddle with his group. They end up with a new 20 out of it, by the way, and just 1:43 to go. Dan, does Virginia have to extend this game on missed shots now? I mean, you're down 11. Obviously, you want to get offensive stops, but if you don't, do you have to force Pitt to go to the free throw line? Panthers, fairly talented. Free throw at the stripe tonight, they're 4 of 6. That's not a broad sample of work, though.
Well, Virginia has kept them off the free throw line, but you're not usually getting all the way to the basket when you're shooting so many threes. So It's been a very interesting thing. But the answer to your question, Wes, is yes. At this point in the ball game, down by 11 points, it doesn't really help you if it takes 20 seconds before you get a stop. You've got to get the ball back. So I think you got to start sending the Panthers to the line.
So the baseline out of bounds. It's a spot throw in for Bub Carrington.
And the Panthers really like to run Henson to the corner on this, although they keep him out at the top of the key now.
Look at Lowe, caught in a double team, bounces to Carrington. McNeely finds him defensively with 10 to shoot. Carrington going to try and take the Cavaliers off the dribble, had it slapped away, 4 to shoot. Here's Leggett. He'll work back baseline, hanging 2, no good. And Virginia out of there with it. And Leggett reached in, knocked it away. And a shot clock violation is going to be called by Clarence Armstrong against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's the right call. You know, Virginia came out of there with it, but the ball never hit the rim. And now I think they're going to have to put some time back on the clock, Wes.
So Jeff Capel, meanwhile, instructions to Jalen Lowe, just settle down and communicate.
See, that they reset the shot clock to 30, but the ball never hit the rim, and it's a loose ball.
So they've got to go back to the shot attempt. So Brian O'Connell feels pretty good. He's ready to break up both huddles here. Here's the look. Now, Dan, to your point, did the ball hit the rim here? Because that would precipitate a reset. It did not, as you indicated.
Ball never hit the rim, and so they reset it to 30 because they thought Virginia had the ball, but nobody had the ball. It was rolling down the court, So they put 1 second back on the clock.
And you give credit where credit is due here. Good piece of officiating by this crew of Clarence Armstrong, Brian O'Connell, and Ramey Steins. 1:20 to go. It's an 11-point Pitt lead, trying to snap the nation's longest home win streak. Virginia's won 23 in a row. McNeely a three. It spins out. Diaz-Graham the rebound, and there's the foul by Dunn with 71 seconds to go. 3rd on Dunn, 7 on Virginia. So the parade of free throw shooters will start for Pitt. And an 11-point lead here.
And again, Wes, all game long, Pitt has limited Virginia's opportunities from beyond the three-point arc. And with this kind of a lead this late in the game, Pitt only has to defend the three-point arc.
Front end of the 1-and-1 is no good. Diaz-Graham kept it alive, and Henson slapped it into the backcourt. Lowe will run it down, and that does nothing but help Pitt right there.
Well, you get what you wanted, Wes, and you can't get the rebound, and that is now, in this game, that is now 9 offensive rebounds for the Pitt Panthers.
Tane Murray's second. That is 8 now on Virginia.
Excuse me, that is 11 offensive rebounds.
Leggett will go to the line. Don't forget, Thursday night doubleheader of ACC women's basketball, 10 o'clock. We'll get you nothing but net. Kelsey Riggs in the group. Review, preview of the weekend ahead, and all the highlights and analysis. Nothing but net on ACC Network. And we got a terrific doubleheader for you coming up on Thursday night. Starts at 6.
And earlier in the season, when Virginia was struggling, one of the things that they struggled with was giving up offensive rebounds. And again, Pitt has 11 of those today, and they've scored 11 second chance points. And so that has been a factor in addition to their three-point shooting.
72-59. Beekman drives Diaz-Graham to the basket and scores. So Reese Beekman's basket. And a quick foul on Isaac McNeely. That is 9 on Virginia.
And if you're the Panthers at this point, Wes, when Virginia has the ball, you're trying not to commit any fouls. You're trying not to allow them to score real easily. But if they run 6 or 7 seconds off the clock and get a 2, you're not worried about that.
Leggett, the front end of the 1-and-1 is good. Dan, we've had a chance to see Jeff Capel's team win in Durham, then followed up with a win in Atlanta. They won last Wednesday in Raleigh against NC State. And now they're getting ready to put their 5th ACC road win on the board here.
Weston, it's not like, you know, you win at Duke and you win at Virginia.
Here's Beekman a 3. Leggett the rebound. 40 seconds left to go.
And Virginia's just backing off.
Yep, sure are. 74-61. This crowd here at John Paul Jones Arena is going to head for the exits. And the ascent of the Pitt Panthers continues.
What a performance by Pitt.
Yep.
I mean, they came in here, not only are they going to break a 23-game winning streak, but Virginia had 8 straight wins, was the hottest team in the ACC.
Yeah, they had won 16 straight conference games at home. And there's a foul on Diaz-Graham after Groves recovered the miss. And for 49-year-old Jeff Capel, this might be the best birthday present.
Well, it very well might be, Wes, but his team came in here very well prepared. They knew what they wanted to do. They executed a very good game plan.
The foul on Leggett will be his 4th. Or Diaz-Graham was the ticket, I'm sorry, his 1st. And Groves hit the free throw.
Wes, and remember, Virginia came out in the second half and made their first 7 shots.
Right.
But despite that fact, Jeff Capel's guys, the score was tied at 47, and then Virginia went cold. And Pitt kept up with the 3-point barrage.
Well, this will do it. Pitt's going to beat Virginia in Charlottesville for just the 2nd time in their basketball history. It had been 50 years since the Panthers had beaten the Cavaliers at Old U-Haul. But tonight here at John Paul Jones Arena, they snap Virginia's 23-game win streak at home. And they do it tonight convincingly, 74-63.
Wes, a very impressive performance. Pitt, one of the top 3-point shooting teams, well, the top 3-point shooting team, volume-wise in the ACC, and they got good shots and they converted them.
So the Panthers now move on. They'll host Louisville on Saturday, then to Wake Forest next Tuesday. Meanwhile, Virginia welcomes the Deacons here on Saturday before going to Blacksburg next Monday night. For Dan Bonner, Wes Durham, thanks to our producer Sean Fulton, our director Graham Robinson, our terrific ACC Network crew. Don't forget, still ahead, Louisville and Boston College. But now, here's Justin Walters and Joel Berry.